Hail, Wanderer. Would you spare a moment? I have a favor to ask you. It was not always the empty place you see now, but it has become little more than a stopping point between Dalentarth and Ratofer for travelers. This used to be a peaceful place full of farmlands. It is still a quiet place, but now the freemen are lurking around just looking to murder and thieve. In appearances, perhaps, I'm just an alpha that needs your help. I have a few belongings to sell, and unfortunately, I've done little to endear myself to Aiton's folk. Will you sell them in my stead? The arrangement is simple. I give you an item, and you sell it. I take a cut, you keep the profit. And will repeat until I have nothing to sell. Understand? I thought you had the look of a trader about you. I have several items for you to sell. If you prefer, you could just buy them all now from me and sell them later. As you wish. The items are in acceptable condition, if nothing else, but they might stand a little polish here and there. Take my silverware, for example. It's somewhat tarnished, but Banron could use the metal. If you melted it down, he'd likely pay more for it. Not much to speak of. Just another soul wandering the plains, trying to get by. I want you to sell it. Banron, the local smithy, will have use for the silver, I'm sure. If you process the silver down to a raw form, he might pay more for it.
Can I help you? Aiton welcomes all visitors. Those who don't cause trouble, anyway.
Welcome to the Clanging Hammer. Don't see many new faces in Aiton these days. My forge is open. Before Talarain fell to ruin, it was Aiton's fields and villagers that stocked and supplied the various citadels there. But the war hit us hard. Bandits plagued the roads. Even Rond Farm has burned to soot. They have been lingering around the wolds. Be cautious on the roads out there. Those freemen like to sneak up on wanderers. It's quiet here, farmland mainly, but between Rond Farm and the Freemen, we've got our own worries. So you're Ratofer's proxy. I heard that someone was helping him out of his money problems. Well, that misfortune couldn't have happened to a nicer person. He was the richest Alfar in town, until he lost his shirt in the war. But that looks to be good silver. I'll take it off your hands. Forge is yours, whenever you need.
goes our business? For your sake, I hope it is smooth. I never thought I'd see the day when I'd be happy to see such a paltry sum. I suppose the townsfolk are happy on my behalf. But let the past lie. I've another item for you. My kerchief. Slightly, worn, but the material is special, of the sort alchemists employ for handling reagents. Askell Thorin might buy it. He's a stubborn one, but he's weak at haggling. See what you can get out of him. Maybe I was someone once before, when the war was just a small conflagration in Cluricon. But by the time we heard the war front was coming, it had already reached us. And like a fool, I smiled at the opportunity. Askell Thorin, the local alchemist, is interested in it. The cloth is normally used for handling sensitive reagents and potions. See what kind of price you can get out of him.
Yes?
Good day, traveler. You should speak with Askell if you're here to shop. He won't even let me keep the books anymore after my last mistake. I want to help him, but he won't let me near his ledgers. Askell is the owner of the shop and my husband. If you would like to make a purchase, you should speak with him. The Wolds aren't much if you're looking for excitement. At least, not before the war turned those freemen loose on us. Bandits and thieves that have been seen around the Wolds. They won't think twice of killing you for any valuables. That is the wasteland, southeast of here. Long ago, it was a grand citadel, ruled over by the Astor family. It's since fallen to ruin. You'll find monsters there, amongst ancient treasure. Well, if you can undo my mistake, perhaps Askell will let me help him again. I sent out several invoices the other day, but I made a slight arithmetic error that might cost us dearly. None of the customers seem to have noticed yet. Can you recollect those invoices discreetly? Oh, thank you. There's 5 invoices in total. 4 went to the townsfolk. The last was to go to the Warsworn Fortress, Helmgard, with a traveling merchant. When you have them all, bring them back to me. Oh, and don't mention this to Askell. 4 of them were given out to the townsfolk. The last was to be sent to Helmgard Keep, the Warsworn base, so I gave it to a merchant traveling that way. Nice talking to you.
A customer? For a minute I thought the damn freeman had fancied to rob me. Welcome. I offer some alchemical items if you are interested. Ruffians and bandits. They're scattered all over the Wolds. It's dangerous wandering outside of town. My wife and assistant. She helps me run the shop, although sometimes she creates more problems than she fixes. It's quiet here, and I can appreciate that. But as the days pass and travelers grow scarcer, it becomes ever more difficult to make a living out here. If not for the slim flow of traffic between Ratofer and Dalentar, they would likely not exist anymore. It's been worse since the war. In a few decades, we'll probably be like Talarain, completely ruined. So, Ratofer's new errand runner is here. Ratofer's been in town for years, but this is the first time I've heard anything from him since he returned from Tuwili over 10 years ago. A messy business, not unlike alchemy. I've seen that rag of his, and I know its virtues. I'll part with some coin for it. Very well.
What is it you need, stranger? How go my affairs? And I hope you've gotten out of Askell what you wanted for it. I have another item I want you to sell. A pair of daggers. Finwick Ivor collects weapons, gaudy, gem-encrusted ceremonial ones, but weapons nonetheless. Some gem socketing may be of use. Take whatever you can for them. Just get them out of my sight. I was caught up in the war. Everyone with an able body marched to the east. And I went with them, for glory, for pride, for vengeance. They were the only things we never found. Sell them to Finwick Ivor. He's fancied himself a collector of these kinds of things. He's quite vain. If you socket a gem or two into them, I'm sure he'll pay more for the daggers.
Welcome to Aiden.
A customer?
Stranger to Aiden? I'm the law in this town. Keep the peace and you are welcome to stay. If not, then you had best leave. If you need to trade, visit Banron, our smithy, and Askell deals in alchemy. And there's a general dealer staying at the inn. I am the law of the town. Aiden needed protection, and I didn't see anyone else willing to do the job. I took it upon myself to keep Aiden safe. Someone needed to do it. Town's becoming harder to protect. We get weaker every season, and the freemen know it. I do what I can, but we keep losing ground. Rond Farm burned not long ago, but it's too dangerous to investigate. Used to be peaceful farmland before the war was on. Now it's some scratched-up dirt, home to Aten and those murderous freemen. Ratofer's aid, right? Let me take a look at what you have there. By the gods! All Alfar know these daggers. These were given to the heroes of the Battle of Galafor Plains. Ratofer got these for saving Ratofer from the Tuatha. Will you look at that stone? Shining like the day it was set into the blade. I'll take these off your hands. They must be preserved. Keep the peace.
What is it you need, stranger? How go my affairs? Good. Sell this ring as well. There is a recluse who lives on the edge of town. Nell. The ring meant something to her long ago. Age has taken its luster, but the potion from an acid solution will make it shine once more. Nell will pay handsomely for that, I think. When the war neared Ratofer, I joined with forces on the Galafor Plains. The Tuatha were pushed back. We chased them all the way back to Tuwili, hoping to end it there. We didn't. It goes to Singing Nell, the hermit near town. She has a dowry, some gold saved away, I know it. The ring's tarnished with the years, but there's a secret. Douse it with acid solution, and that should wash it clean.
Greetings.
Venerate soul of the travelers at your service. Been a while since I saw someone coming through Aten. The travelers are good traders and better treasure hunters. If there's gold, a traveler can always sniff it out. I'm not from here myself. I know it's got an inn and it's close to Talarain, which is good for me. I mostly come here to recuperate and sell my findings between excursions. Most would say it's a monster-ridden wasteland. However, if you can deal with those beasts, then there's much treasure to be found there. Little for one to find here in the sticks, and some people like that, I suppose. The only real worry are those damn freemen harrying the roads, giving thieves a bad name. Come again?
There's a bed if you're stopping over, a tankard if you're thirsty, and a fire to warm by in the Golden Plains Inn. There's not much in terms of services in town. Besides the inn, you've got Banron and his smithy Askell, and his alchemy shop. Ayton started as a trading post between Dalentarth and Rathier. For a while, we even saw some profit. Until the war. Now, few come and nobody stays. Just some burned-out farms and this trading post. Different from Talarain, east of here. But we've our share of problems. Ron Farm, for example, or the Freeman. Even Ratofer's causing a ruckus. Have you heard of their trouble? Every day they're still sick. The front lines go without the grain they need. Their stores can't last forever. It is a wasteland. Nothing but monsters and ruins. Always open.
Finally, someone who doesn't look like they'd keel over in a gentle breeze. The name's Sen, and no, I'm not from around Ayton. Looking to kill a little time? I have a cup and some dice. Care to toss for some coin? Or perhaps I could read your cards. I am a gambling man, stranger. Anytime you want to give the dice a roll, I'll be ready to place a bet. It's a small, quiet town with not much more than a few tradesmen. The most exciting thing for these townsfolk is the sight of an unfamiliar face traveling through. Getting harder to find a quiet spot in the plains, but Ayton never gave me much cause for fuss or worry. You look elsewhere in Erethel, you find unrest and chaos, but the Wolds, well, it's meeting its destiny quietly. Very well. Let's each bet a small purse of coin to keep things interesting. There's 2 games we can play. High roll, whoever rolls higher wins, or range roll. Guess a range of numbers for you to roll in. Which will it be? Very well. What numbers do you think you're going to roll within? Very well. Let's see what the dice show. Well, look at that. Guess I won out. Care to play again? Well, if you change your mind, I'll be here. Another time, maybe.
Can I help?
Strangers strange come to Ayton. Few come by these roads nowadays. A hard gaze falls on Ayton. Many are the burdens and few are the reliefs. Someone must go to Ayton Circle. Someone must call the Erethel. Hoping to hear a song for coin from Old Nell. I haven't sung for years, stranger, not since the war started. Ratofer. After a decade, he begs me payment for the ring, and so his promise is finally broken. Very well. I should be lucky to die unmarried rather than a widow. A forgotten spot in these plains. The land still bears grain, but few reap the crops they did before the war. Only Ron Farm stands, and Flame has gutted it. The others have fallen into the hands of the freemen, bandits, marauders. The last remaining farm in the Wolds. There has been much talk of it, how Denrit and Allred Rond have gone mad. Even Finwick refuses to investigate, so wary is he of catching the madness. Though our wheat grows strong, the citizens do not. We sowed a crop that was untimely reaped. We need intervention, lest we end up like Talarain, a monument to nothing, with kobolds and raiders squabbling over our bones. I have counted the minutes until Ratofer returned to me with that ring. It is beautiful. As beautiful as it was the day I pressed it into his hand, as the day he and those boys left for war, as the day he came back broken and alone. And now it comes back to me with an asking price. Here is the coin he so desires. May he drown in the tankard he buys with it. Flutter away.
Huh? What's this?
Greetings.
What is it you need, stranger? How go my affairs? That was a hard thing to let go of, but it needed to be done. There is one last thing I need to divest myself of. My charter. The one that shows my ancestry. It is in the ruins of my family's estate, Corgan Hold. Its buyer is Gordon Lott, the innkeep. Give it to him whatever he asks for it. It was a stronghold that my family held for generations. When I returned from the war, its halls were empty and I couldn't bring myself to fill them again. Brigands and worse things lurk in those halls now. It's been 10 years since I took the young of Ayton and failed to come back with them. Their families, their loved ones, I couldn't look them in their faces. I could never understand what they went through, but knowing was enough. In Corgan Hold, it was an ancestral home for the Ratofers, but since I've abandoned it, darker things lurk there now.